This has kind of been the big miscalculation of my media career, is when I thought I could get involved in this and I can, break down news stories and analyze things and present it in a way that people can understand. You red pill somebody, you wake people up with the communication. And by showing them superior facts, logic, and information, it'll change their minds, and they'll, join. You'll win over hearts and minds, and you'll have this great awakening. It's always been that frustration. But apparently, for normal people, they have this issue called cognitive dissonance, and they actually get physically and mentally ill when presented with new information that contradicts what they want to believe. So, but that's just the way I've been wired and was unable to put that all together. Learned much about myself as being this, INTJ Sigma male. And I watch these weird little videos like this one. We're going to watch a clip. There's 8 strange reasons people cannot stand Sigma males. But I just want to play a piece of it because it goes into the cognitive dissonance subject. So here we go.
Reason 3, Sigmas speak their truth, brutally honest, often unapologetically. Here's a truth bomb for you. Sigma males don't sugarcoat. They're blunt, direct, and sometimes their honesty stings like a bee on a hot summer day. Unlike most people who prefer softening the truth around uncomfortable topics, Sigmas cut straight to the chase. They say what they mean and mean.
See, this has been interesting. It's been a revelation for me learning about this stuff because, you hear about archetypes, there's alpha males and beta males, and I never really fit into any particular category. But now that they have these other male archetypes, and one of them is the Sigma, which I'm going, oh, now I have one that explains what I am. So we're kind of like the introverted lone wolf types. Not everybody resonates with, but here we go. We don't mean to be mean, but that's just the way we're wired.
What they say. Why is this so fascinating? Because in everyday social settings, people tend to avoid confrontation. Gossip, half-truths, and politeness often take center stage. This helps maintain social harmony and keeps egos intact. But the Sigma male? He's a different breed. His form of transparency doesn't just ruffle feathers, it shakes the whole tree. Psychologically, this honesty can trigger discomfort in others because it shines a spotlight on their own insecurities or self-deceptions. When someone hears an unfiltered truth from a Sigma, it's like looking into a mirror that reflects all their flaws and pretenses. This mirror isn't flattering, and that can be hard to swallow. It's no surprise that people often respond defensively, sometimes with jealousy, anger, or silent contempt. Research in social psychology shows that humans have a natural tendency called cognitive dissonance, which is the mental discomfort experienced when confronted with information that contradicts their beliefs or self-image.
Yeah, okay. Well, I found the fatal flaw in my quest to wake people up when I decided to go public and start spouting all my conspiracy theories back, 2011 or so. Thinking this would be easy. We'll wake people up. You just present them facts and information that will, change their perception. We can point out the way that the media lies to them, and they'll realize, oh, okay. Because when I hear new information, I embrace it. It's a difference in the way people are wired that way. So I embrace new ideas. If people want to tell me that, it could be some just outlandish theory about anything about how reality and the world works, I want to hear it. I'm fascinated. I'm curious. For most people, they actually feel threatened by alternative information that challenges their paradigm and their worldview, and they can actually get mentally and physically uncomfortable from hearing such ideas. So that's why a lot of this stuff doesn't work, and why the normies just continue. They get into the confirmation bias. where you can tell them like, oh yeah, the media lies, and this is all the BS they did with all of the COVID lockdowns, or the Russian disinformation. You can point all that out to them, but they'll never believe it, and they'll reject it and immediately go to whatever their sources are, just because it's in their comfort zone, which is something I didn't know. I actually had a conversation with Grok about this. Can you explain the physical and mental effects of cognitive dissonance? So for a regular person, this can manifest in mental and physical ways. They have anxiety and stress. So when you try to tell them about media lies, the Democratic Party is using Biden as a puppet, it causes anxiety and stress, confusion, indecision, rationalization, self-doubt, and they have stress responses, sleep issues, fatigue, even digestive problems. And then they have coping mechanisms that they deal with that. So that is why, apparently, it is so difficult to actually win hearts and minds, because you would think this would all be obvious by now. We could change this world in short order. Get people to realize that they've been lied to. Mainstream media, the globalists, or the Bill Gates and the eugenicists, they're not on your side. But they don't get it. Here we go, Rick. Yes, heard the U.S. Health Department has discontinued the recommendation, yes, of the COVID. And we tried to warn about that, and we were, banned from the internet. We wanted you to wear masks that made no sense, stand 6 feet apart. We told you that the didn't come from a lab leak, it came from the wet market. So many lies. And it was so easy to debunk all that stuff. But hey, I wasn't a medical expert, so what did it matter? Just shut me down. So they would have kept this place locked down. They'd still be recommending their COVID schedule. That'd be the way that they wanted to control the reality. By getting everybody in their COVID camps, their vax passports. It's total insanity. So when somebody's deeply held worldview, like a blue-pilled normie who trusts mainstream media, is challenged by a conflicting perspective, such as a red-pill commentary from an INTJ Sigma type, cognitive dissonance kicks in hard. This clash can trigger both mental and physical responses as the brain grapples with information that threatens its established reality. So they actually have defensive rejection. This is why I get in all these flame wars, Twitter, or Facebook, or wherever, and you're like, how do people not get this? How do you continue to show them facts, information, logic, and it just never breaks through? It never reaches to them. They continue to reject it and almost double down. So sometimes it feels like a lost cause. It's very frustrating. Imagine a normie who watches CNN daily and believing it's objective, and they encounter somebody like me posting on X about how the mainstream media omitting key facts in a story with links to primary sources. Initially, they'll scoff, labeling it as misinformation and to avoid engaging. Physically, their heart rate might spike during the argument and they feel tense. Mentally, they might feel irritated or confused, especially if the evidence seems credible but contradicts their trust in CNN because they're the experts. They're journalists with degrees from prestigious universities. And to cope, they might double down, seeking more MSM articles to reinforce their views, or disengage entirely to avoid the discomfort as in blocking me, per se. I've had many people do that. You start challenging that and shooting down all their arguments, and they just block you so that they can live in peace in their own head. So I had no idea. So there's the phenomenon of cognitive dissonance. I'm not equipped with it. So I just blissfully unaware all of these years of what a colossal waste of time it was in some ways. But it is fun to cover the news, and I appreciate you guys that do understand it, what I'm trying to communicate here. Yeah, the internet did save us. I would agree with that, Rick. Absolutely. It's opened everything up in other ways. Because before the internet, I couldn't really do it. Before social media and internet, the only way I could communicate was is in person. I've been red pilled wide awake since the late '90s, over 25 years. So this is all passe to me. So much of it. But for other people, yeah, it's wildly threatening to their worldview. So yeah, you think the internet, or what do they say? Ignorance is a choice in the world of the internet, but not for a lot of people. They really take comfort in their reality, even if it's based on lies. It's built on lies. Maybe, but who knows? I don't know. I find it fun, but I guess they don't.